Nobody does that. And what's good for one is good for all. If I said, okay, I'm passing Mr. Renfro, then everybody would say, I want the Gregory Renfro rule. I can trail off for 2 years and come and wander back, and we'll pick up where we left off. I can't do that.
Right out of the gate, the judge is setting a precedent warning in probation law consistency is everything if one person gets a pass it opens the floodgates, but here is the real question: should the system ever allow exceptions, or does that break fairness completely?
Gregory Renfro? Are you Stephen Allen, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let's see. That is signed up for a plea.
Sir?
That's signed up for a plea, Judge.
Okay. What are we doing on this one?
This is a sentencing.
Okay. For the purposes of this motion to revoke probation, correct?
He entered a plea and they requested an updated report. You received that. It was originally set for March 13th, and
Yeah.
we've had some issues getting him here, but he's here.
I think Mr. Renfro had a scooter accident and impairments.
19-32947 is called the State of Texas versus Gregory Lakeith Renfro. That's you. Correct. Speak out to either.
Yes,
Thank you, sir. And you were here with Mr. Kimler, your attorney and the state's attorney, earlier, based upon a motion to revoke probation filed as of October 2nd of 2023. We should live so long. In this cause number, we held a hearing finally in February this year, February 6th, and you pleaded true or were found true by a preponderance of the evidence or greater by the court that you failed to report to the probation office on or about September 14th, 2023 in violation of your probation order. And stand by. You had been on probation, on a 10-year probation since 2020 for the third-degree felony of evading detention with a motor vehicle.
Yes.
Was he an absconder for a while?
Yes, sir.
For how long?
According to this report, 2 years and
Because this thing was filed
4 months.
October 2nd, 2023, which is 2.5 years ago. And we never got around to the hearing until, I guess, you walked off the job essentially on September 14th of 2023 and never found your way back that day. What does it show when he was
Yeah, just a second.
put into custody?
I can find it.
When was the last time the probation saw him?
Well, since he posted bond, he has been reporting to the probation
I'm
department.
talking about from the time he stopped reporting until he came back. What period of time is that?
Taken into consideration.
Yeah, he found his way back according to the authorities, with authorities' help. See, the thing, you have to report, or you're not on probation. That's the essence. You're on supervision, or you're not. And I tell them, if you can't do anything else, you got to report.
He was arrested on December 16th, 2025. And after he,
But that
He
was
pled-
over 2 years from 23 when he last failed to report.
after he pled, he was released on February 9th.
And then he's reported.
How much time do we have on him?
It's not a lot, Your Honor. Just doing the real fast math here, it's a little over 2 months. Right at 65 to 70 days.
Get it accurate.
Hmm.
How much more?
No, I mean, I'm just guesstimating.
Maybe it's plea time or something.
Mhm. $68 is what the jail screen shows.
Days.
That's right.
Like 70?
67.
67.
I included one that didn't get it.
All right.
Your Honor, at the appropriate time,
Go ahead.
Mr. Renfro wanted to address to give a court an explanation.
And then we're ready on what should be done. Who wants to start?
I don't defer.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I didn't report. Actually, what happened, I had COVID. I sent my paperwork into the court. I sent it to Mr. Gary Harmon, my probation officer. And somehow they didn't get it. I guess I sent an email to Miss Ellie. I sent it to Mr. Harmon.
For 2 years, so.
Oh, yeah,
That's what
yeah, yeah.
explanation is not.
Oh.
For 2 years.
I want to hear it.
But that Mr.
Then
Harmon
don't
told
start
me-
off with once upon a time.
Mr. Harmon had to do his job. He told me over the phone verbally that take care of my fees or whatever and keep reporting over the phone to him. I know he had a job, he was still marked as not showing up, but I was reporting over the phone to him.
Were you?
She was not there. It was Mr.
Yeah, I don't believe that either, because that's not the way we worked. And COVID was in 2020. And it passed on reporting soon enough. It wasn't for years. And this thing is, you failed to report September 14th, 2023. It's not COVID. It's not COVID. Come on. And you were gone for 2 years. That's not COVID. It doesn't have anything to do with that. When you first got on probation, it was kind of during COVID. But you were on probation for over 3 years before you just walked off the job. Here's another problem.
Here is the key legal point in probation cases. The burden is preponderance of the evidence, not beyond a reasonable doubt. That's a much lower standard. So once the court believes it is more likely than not he violated terms, especially something as basic as reporting it, is already game over territory.
It's your believability. Contacted the officer on February 11th of this year, stating you would not be able to report for your visit due to lack of transportation and that you would be coming back from Silsbee. So we gave you a new report date 2 days later for February 13th, 2026 at 1:45. You failed to report on February 13th, which prompted the officer to contact you and inquire why you had. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
What did you tell them?
I was sick. I provided paperwork. I was sick.
I'm sorry?
I was sick. I provided paperwork to her that I was sick.
No, what did it say? Well, why didn't you report? Where were you that day?
Getting tested for flu.
Okay. Where?
Walgreens on College Street.
That's what you're going to stand by? That's your story?
Yes, sir. I signed you on the
Well, your GPS device doesn't show that, strangely enough. GPS, you have one, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, it shows you were not present at Walgreens at that day at all. Also, you reported in February, denied any use of alcohol or drugs, then tested positive for alcohol, and then said, well, that was because I'll tell you now, I did drink alcohol last night. Not until we catch you are you forthcoming.
No, I was
And you, if you can't be honest with us, if you can't be honest with us, because we give a lot of trust to the people, but when the trust is found to be broken, you've lost your credibility. So, according to the probation office, based on your non-compliance and inconsistencies, the officer is reluctant to recommend continuing your probation term. Means, and they're my eyes in the dark. I rely on them. They are close to you. But what I read, I wouldn't trust you either. I think you've broken the trust.
The court said continuing him on probation? I think you said continuing the probation.
It was, the officer is reluctant to recommend continuing his
So
probation.
does that mean she's reluctantly recommending that he be
No,
continued?
is reluctant to recommend.
Her opinion is he won't be successful because he's repeatedly made
He knows what
the
it is.
same mistake.
He knows what it is. He's playing semantics with it.
But it doesn't appear that she's ruling that. I'm sure. I just think there might be something like this.
I know the lady and I know what she wants. I know what she's trying to convey. And she's what we all are in this one. We're disappointed.
No, I apologize. I didn't.
You can apologize, but we caught you lying. That can't play well. Anyway.
I recommend the 5-year sentence that was suspended, Judge. The whole reason why we got an updated PSI was the defense counsel represented that there would be something positive for us to go forward with here, and I don't see anything other than just repeated infractions of the same deal. He wants this on his terms and his terms alone, and that's not how we operate, Judge.
The whole thing is,
This is the turning point. Judges care less about excuses and more about credibility. Once the story starts shifting emails, calls, accidents, it signals one thing: damage control, not truth. Ask yourself, if you disappear for 800 days, is there any explanation that actually works?
bad enough. He failed to report and he was absconding for how long?
2 years and 4
I mean,
months.
that's hard to explain away.
But Your Honor, just, and Mr. Ham's correct. I always attempt to have some sort of length of time from the plea to the sentencing in order for a probationer to demonstrate their ability to comply with the terms and conditions of probation. So that's what Mr. Renfro had the opportunity to do, and it is what it is as far as his ability or his performance while he was on a bond pending the disposition of the case, and whatever his actions were, I guess, speak for themselves through the probation department. But I would recommend that the case itself, I don't know that 5 would be appropriate, perhaps something less than that.
Well, he was sentenced to 5.
It was suspended.
I know it was suspended, but
I think you could lessen that, but
You can, but there's, as the state's reviewed this information, Judge, there's no reason to do that.
well, the thing is it's once again, it's if you can't do anything else, you got to report. You have to report, if nothing else. And you were gone. You were AWOL.
did you?
Have you ever been in the military? Well, when you're AWOL, it's not good.
He wanted to just say what you're going to say.
When I absconded, I had an opportunity for the railroad as a job, a train conductor. And I was trying to get that.
I don't care. You were supposed to report. You missed reporting for over, 26 times? 26, 27 times in a row. Nobody does that. And what's good for one is good for all. If I said, okay, I'm passing Mr. Renfro, then everybody would say, I want the Gregory Renfro rule. I can trail off for 2 years and come and wander back, and we'll pick up where we left off. I can't do that. If I've always said it, 19 plus years. If you can't do anything, you got to report, or else you're really not on probation. You're on your own probation, which is the tail wagging the dog. It's not working. It doesn't work naturally, right? And and we're 93% success rate. We don't want failure. We're proud of that. We're disappointed. I mean, I'm willing to drag you across the finish line in some cases just to get you finished, but you got to do the heavy lifting. And 2 years plus is a long time. Any of those days, 800 days, any of those days, you could have walked up and said, before y'all go send something, it's gotten the best of me. I'm here and I want to pick up, please have mercy. But no, you got arrested, right? Yes, you got arrested. We had to find you. And that's not the way it should be. Anything else? If not,
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
One drink because
yes, sir.
my mom died in January, and in January is why I had that drink, so that was the only reason.
All right.
I didn't have time to
Look,
leave in jail.
it's not the drink that's carrying the day. It's the failure to report for 2+ years. That's what carries the day. And no, you should grieve for your mother. You should do that. And I would never punish someone for that. But
I've been having a hard time since losing her.
life includes death. We all have happiness, and we all have agony when we lose loved ones, but we just don't quit. And our loved ones wouldn't want that. You loved your mother, I bet. Yeah, me too. It makes me teary-eyed. But your mother would want. But what you want to be is proud for your mother. And here's the deal: you're not going to serve 5 years. I mean, you're going to get paroled here, but in months probably rather than years. But it's what you do with the rest of your life. Would it make the spirit of your mother proud or not? That's what you always think. And it's never too late to live a good life in their memory. You ought to be doing it for yourself, though, and your immediate family who depend upon it. But the 5 is the minimum, is what we're dealing with here. Because it was 5 years that was suspended and you were placed on 10 years probation. And yeah, I'm sorry. There you go. Okay, thank you. So, once again, I find there is sufficient evidence supporting this motion to grant it by a preponderance of the evidence or greater, as allegation 1 is proven true by a preponderance of the evidence or greater, and your probation is hereby revoked. You are sentenced to 5 years in prison, and you will be given credit for all time you have served in accordance with this case. And good luck.
And this is the final nail. Trust is the currency of probation. Once it is gone, the system stops bending the judge, even shows empathy, but still delivers the sentence. So here is the real debate: is this justice, or just the inevitable result of too many second chances?